Hey friends, welcome back to my channel, Organized with Joy. In today's video, I am going to be sharing with you the 15 items that I no longer purchase. And I've definitely seen this video going around YouTube for the last several years. I do follow a lot of minimalists, and so I've definitely seen different videos from people who are minimalist who share the items that they no longer purchase. For those of you who don't know, I have been on a journey the last several years of trying to minimize the things that are in my home, and eliminating some of these items has helped to keep the clutter down out of my home. And some of these items are consumable items, so I of course have alternatives for these items, so it may still cause clutter in my home, but definitely some of these items were contributing to clutter in my home, and now that I no longer purchase them, they are not contributing to the clutter. So the first item that I no longer purchase is dryer sheets, and I did replace dryer sheets with wool dryer balls. I will say most of these items that I'm sharing with you are items that I used to purchase but I no longer purchase. So I did used to purchase dryer sheets, but now I no longer purchase them and use dryer balls instead. And not only do dryer sheets have chemicals on them, but they are not as environmentally friendly as the dryer balls. And in order to have that great scent that a lot of dryer sheets have, I just add essential oils to my wool dryer balls to use them with my clothes. Number 2 on the list is plastic straws. So I drink a protein shake every single day, and I have for many years. And I used to use plastic straws instead of reusable ones because I thought that the reusable ones would be difficult to clean. But now there are so many options for reusable straws, and pretty much all of them come with a cleaning tool that can go down into the straw. And so they're very easy to clean. I also just throw mine in the dishwasher and that does the trick. So I now use stainless steel straws in lieu of the plastic straws, and I don't keep those plastic straws on hand any longer. Number 3, the next item that I no longer purchase is plastic water bottles. Now everyone in my family just has a reusable water bottle instead, and we do have a reverse osmosis system in our home, so the water tastes really great and it's nice and clean. And honestly, I feel like it tastes better than what's in water bottles anyway, but we all just use our refillable water bottles. I will say that I do have a case of water on hand in case of an emergency, because if you don't know, Austin, Texas had a really bad winter storm and we definitely needed water. Our water went out, so I do like to keep it on hand for an emergency, but we do not use plastic water bottles on the daily. Number 4 is soda, cans of soda. I no longer purchase cans of soda. It has actually been a very long time since I've consistently purchased cans of soda. My husband and I both used to drink soda in the late afternoon for a caffeine pick-me-up, but we no longer drink soda. Back when I was pregnant with my second son, who is now 20 years old, I started to learn about whole food eating and just the value of cutting out refined sugars and high fructose corn syrup and all of that out of my diet. And so we decided to quit drinking soda at that point. I do purchase sparkling water, which we use kind of in place of soda, I guess. But I do not just have soda on hand. We do sometimes drink soda if we get fast food. My kids certainly do when they get fast food, drink soda, but we don't have it on hand and we don't drink it consistently. Number 5 is pre-cut food. So when my kids were younger, I definitely purchased pre-cut food just because I was so much busier back then. But now that my children are older, I have more margin in my life. I actually really enjoy cooking, and it's very cathartic for me to cut up fruits and vegetables on my own. It's much more cost effective to purchase fruits and vegetables in their normal state, not cut up, so I no longer purchase pre-cut foods. Number 6, next up is magazines. I did used to have magazine subscriptions many years ago. I loved home decor or home magazines, and I would actually keep clippings from those magazines of things that inspired me. I had this whole 3-ring binder where I kept all these magazine clippings. And now, of course, with everything digitized, it's really easy to find inspiration online and use sites like Pinterest to pin things or save things that you want to remember for inspiration for the future. We do still currently receive one magazine subscription, and that is Consumer Reports, which has been a gift from my in-laws every Christmas. But my husband and my father-in-law recently had a discussion about no longer giving us this magazine subscription because a lot of this information can be found online, and honestly, we would rather just have access to the online version of Consumer Reports instead of receiving the paper magazine. Number 7 is holiday or special event dishware. I no longer purchase or own any holiday or special event dishware. I basically just have white plates and platters and things like that that can be transformed and dressed up into whatever holiday or event we're celebrating. I also like to do tablescapes and decorate the table to whatever that event or holiday might be, and to me that's sufficient enough. I don't need to have specific holiday dishware that I'm only using once a year. Number 8 is special event clothing items or dresses, and I used to definitely purchase new clothing for different events. And back in 2019, I actually did a no spend year, but one of my rules was that I could purchase a special event clothing item if it was necessary. And that year, my son graduated from high school, and I did go out and purchase a dress for that event. I brought it home and was trying it on with different shoes and accessories, and I decided that I really did not need that dress. And I have a good collection of dresses on hand. I don't even wear dresses a lot, but I have several to choose from for special events, and I can style it differently for different events. And so now I no longer purchase special event clothing. Number 9 and next up is sale items. Now, disclaimer here, it's not that I never purchase anything on sale, it's that I don't necessarily purchase items just because they're on sale. I used to really get sucked in by sale items and just the really good deal, and now I'm definitely more intentional with my purchases, and I don't purchase things just because they're on sale. I purchase items intentionally because I love them and they speak to me, and I feel like they would make a good addition to my home. Number 10 is I no longer purchase souvenirs. Now, I will say, if there is something that we find on vacation that really speaks to me and I feel like I want to have it in my home and I love it, then I will purchase that item, but I don't purchase souvenirs just for the sake of having them to remember a trip. I always take tons of pictures to remember trips, so I don't necessarily need to have a souvenir. Number 11 is I no longer purchase nail, brow, or lash services. Now, to be fair, I've never had lash services. I've never purchased this service before, but I definitely used to get my nails done and my eyebrows waxed. I didn't get my nails done frequently. I would only do it 3, maybe 4 times a year, but I definitely got my eyebrows waxed consistently. But after COVID and when those services shut down for a while, I realized that I really didn't need to have these services done, that I was doing just fine plucking my own eyebrows. And honestly, I don't really like to have my fingernails painted. I do like to have my toenails painted, but I just do them on my own now instead. Number 12, I no longer purchase purses. I used to purchase purses kind of like I would accessories like shoes or jewelry, but I learned that I don't really like switching out my purses, so I would just gravitate towards one purse and just kind of stick with that. So then I decided to go ahead and get rid of all of my purses except for my favorite, and then when that purse breaks or it's reached its life, then I just purchase a new purse. I do like to have purses that are a little bit more high quality, made of leather, and that way they last longer. And the purse that I currently have, I think I've had it for 5 or 6 years now. I do have a secondary smaller purse that it's actually versatile. You can use it as a fanny pack, as a crossbody, or as a clutch. And I have that on hand just for when I go out on a date with my husband or out with friends. But on the daily, I just use one purse. Number 13 is I do not buy the newest version of phone. And this goes for all electronics, honestly, and I've never been the person to always upgrade to the latest and greatest. A matter of fact, our whole family, we pretty much use our phones until they die, so I won't really ever buy the latest and greatest of any of electronics items. As long as they're still working, that is good enough for me. Number 14 is seasonal decor. Now, it's not that I will never purchase new seasonal decor, but it is not a habit of mine to every season go out and find whatever is new on the shelves at Target or Home Goods or places like that. I have a good base of seasonal decor for fall, Christmas, and for Easter, and I'm happy with what I have currently. When I do bring in new pieces, I try to find pieces that kind of fit with a season. So maybe in the fall, I will look for items that are kind of fall-like maybe colors or textures, but they would be versatile and truly be able to be used year-round. An example of this is I really love the vintage brass animals, and I've collected quite a few of them. But several years ago, for the winter or for Christmas, I purchased some brass deer, and they work really well for Christmas or for winter, but truthfully, they are timeless and they could be displayed year-round. Lastly, number 15 is I do not purchase things I cannot afford. Now, honestly, this has been a habit for my husband and I since we have been married. We've been married for 25 years, and the only debt that we've ever had is home debt. And then for a short period of time, we did have school debt from my husband's graduate program that he went through, but currently we only have our mortgage on our home as debt. If we ever want to purchase anything, in particular big ticket items, we will save up the money before purchasing those items. So that is also something that I no longer purchase. I did want to tell you that I will have a blog post with all of this information detailed in that blog post, so you can check that out if you'd like to. I will leave the link to my website and that blog post down in the description box below. Well, I hope this video inspired you to think about different things that you might be purchasing that you could cut out of your budget. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you're new to my channel, I would love for you to consider subscribing. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.